Well, welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be dealing with the 07. Been having some kind of overheating problems slash no AC at idle, and it'll kind of just be a video if you guys are having any problems with your 03 to 07 trucks, the 5.9 common rails. This will be for you, and also other people with older trucks like your 12 valves or your 24 valve VP trucks. They can also have this. They just have a different bit of a fan clutch, and they usually are stuck all the way on or off, and it's a very big difference where these, they kind of go off of RPM, so they, once it starts getting hotter, it'll slowly go faster and faster. Mine seems to be off and on, and it's just kind of one of those things that it overheated on me the other day when I was towing the Sport back from Edmonton, and yeah, it was just took forever for it to cool down on the side of the highway, and I was like, hey, rather it's thermostat or I got a fan clutch problem. And then I was parked at a gas station pretty much fueling up, and I let it idle because it was hot out, and it was just blowing hot air. And I know my AC system's just completely redone, so the fan's on its way out, and when you spin it when it's cold and stuff, it is like pretty easy to spin compared to say the 05 I have up back. So I'm just gonna rob the fan and everything off that one, or the fan clutch, I guess. It's $380 for an aftermarket one. Everybody says go OEM Dodge, so it's kind of one of those things like, I don't really want to spend $1,100 on a new one, and it's a 2-week wait from Dodge, or I pay $380 for an aftermarket one with 1-year warranty, and everyone says not to do it. So I'm just gonna go with a OEM Dodge one. It just has a lot of kilometers, or it's been changed in the past and it's good to go. So it seems tight. I'm gonna throw it on there, and I'll just kind of walk you guys through how to figure out how to do your fan clutch. And yeah, those are the symptoms that I had. There's a few other slight symptoms that you can have, but those are the ones I had. That was AC is warm at idle, so a red light, or if you're at a gas station filling up and have your AC on, you get back in, it's like, holy moly, it's hot in here. It's because your fan's not sucking the air through the condenser, and it's not cooling off your Freon. And then, yeah, that, and then sometimes when you're just driving, big one for me when I first started noticing it was driving through town and through a city, say, and you have tons of red lights and stuff. The AC would work, but I noticed my temp would kind of come up above over half a bit, and it's like it never usually is there. It's about 3/8 all the time. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then you'd pull over and you'd park, and it would just kick right into high idle. And it was like, why is it idling at 20 degrees out? It just makes no sense. And sure enough, it's because that fan the clutch is not working right in it, and it can't cool off the rad as much as the truck would like. So anyways, makes sense. And I'm gonna change it over and yeah, walk you guys through it. All right, guys, so up here in the engine bay, you're gonna be taking your fan out with your shroud. So you'll be loosening that 13 mil there, that 13 mil there, and holy moly, just put one for a rip. And then there's gonna be one right there, and then you're gonna undo that wiring clip right there, that bolt, and then that nut right there you gotta take off. And yeah. And for some of you, you have an air hammer. You can just air hammer that nut right there. You're gonna wanna go lefty-loosey on this one, and sometimes they're righty-loosey depending on the fan clutch system and which truck you have. But these 03 to 07s are lefty-loosey. And then you're gonna wanna just drop that fan, kind of undo it and pull it back into their shroud, and then you're gonna take this all out as one unit. Can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Some of you guys, I think it's a 38 millimeter wrench, I think is what that nut size is. So sometimes you can just buy like a Dodge fan kit wrench at your local parts store. It's probably not too expensive, maybe like 30-40 bucks. And then like you just put it on there and you hammer it one way with a hammer. Or if you have really long bar, you can like kind of smack it with a hammer and spin the nut off. Air hammer is easiest for me, and there's like snap-on tools for the air hammer too that can go over it. It just, I don't know, you have an air hammer, you just use it. Seems to be the easiest. But I'll get that done and pull that fan out, show you guys. Also, while you're underneath here, you're gonna have to unplug that, which is what that's connected to. And this bracket stays down, and this bracket will go with it, I believe. Yeah, that bracket goes with it because that's part of the fan clutch. Okay, so now, engine's like really hot. It's a horrible time to do this, but you can, I bust that free. You just turn the fan, and you feel just undo it. Fan. This is that bracket and wire I was talking about. It's coming with it. If you don't have skinny forearms, I feel bad for you. That is for sure. Easy. There we go. The fan came off. Ever so gently put up against the rad. Try not to, but you have to. A little bit of a pain in the butt because it wants to keep falling back and it folds. I think I got it to a spot where it wants to come out. And then you're just gonna kind of ever so gently pry everything. Try not to nick your rad. Now, oh, the engine is so hot. There we go. All right, just like that. All right, well, I guess I'm not starting this thing. Apparently, charger keeps telling me that the batteries are bad. There's a cell that went bad, so it just ticks. She's no go. I tried boosting with my truck, no go. So I guess I'll be doing it out here. I'm gonna grab some airline and rip that fan off out here, and then set them side by side, see if we notice a difference. And then I know when they're in the truck, you can notice a big difference. Like mine, you could spin pretty easily. It had some resistance. That one you can't really spin it at all. So I'm hoping that it's still good. Anyways, we'll throw it in the truck, and I mean, if it works, it works. I'll notice it instantly. You know, at idle, I'll know that it's cold or it's still hot. It's something else my problem. So I'll go grab that one out of the 05, and then from there we'll see how it is in the 07. Okay, a hack I just found in the 05 really helps you out. You put the nut back on, you can't slide back in, so when you're taking it out, it won't really go in back onto the stud. So it's kind of a little bit of a tip. All right, so that's from the 07, that's from the 05. You can't overly tell, but you spin this by hand. Like, I gotta put some pretty good force to even get it to turn a bit. Where the 07 one, I can turn it pretty easy. So I think that's what's worn out on this one compared to this one. That's why I think this one's gonna work better. But yeah, I think it's definitely a lot slower to turn that one than it is that one. So let's, I'm gonna swap the fans over because I like to keep things original. I'm just gonna take that fan clutch, put it in there. And swapping these over, just like I said before, these 6 bolts, this whole fan comes off, and then yeah, super simple. And then I'll tighten these up with the impact door like this. There you go. Now this would be a great time for people to change the water pump if it needs to be changed, your serpentine belt. All mine have been changed, so I'm not worrying about it, other than my crank seal needs to be done, but I'm not worrying about that today. It's not leaking bad enough. But it is a very good time to change anything up front when this is all out. Not that it takes long to take this out, but if you find a little bit of a struggle, at least you can just take care of that stuff while you're there. Okay, so once your fan is threaded on there and tight, like it, as in that nut doesn't spin no more when you spin the fan, what you're gonna wanna do is just take the air hammer and, or your punch or your wrench or whatever, focus, and just hit it that way a little bit. Just give it a little bit of snug, nothing major. The fan will do the rest of keeping it tight. So anyways, I'm about ready to try it. So just wash my hands and everything. It's all back together. I think this is all of maybe an hour and a half of doing both fans. So I put that 05 back together with my old fan. You know, it'll work for whatever that truck's purpose is. I have no idea what I'm doing with it yet. But yeah, I'm going to clean up my mess. I'm gonna pull this outside and we'll see if it works. Let's just hope it does. If it doesn't, it is what it is. I go buy a new one. But yeah, anyways, I will test it out. Okay, so I'm in the truck right now, fans on. Let's just go high. Yeah, it's definitely cold. So that was definitely the problem. I have a Cummins thermostat right here that I was gonna put in thinking that was a problem, but I'm just gonna save this, put it on the shelf. I'm gonna need it one day here soon, but no point of replacing something that's not broke. And when I do replace this, then it'll just be that much newer. So anyways, if you guys ever come up with a problem like that where your AC is warm at idle, like in a parking lot or at a red light, or it seems like your temperature through like city driving is hotter than it usually is, and say when you park your truck goes into high idle, or if you're pulling a grade towing something and your truck's pretty much pegged and then you pull over and it won't cool down, the odds are your fan clutch is on its way out. Now there is some wiring problems that people said they can have. It's most likely going to be the fan clutch. I wouldn't start worrying about that till you replace it and it still doesn't work. But even at that point, like, you could test those wires, which is what I did beforehand. I turn the key on and then you go down underneath there and you find your power wire. So if it has power, it's most likely going to work. And yeah, anyways, that's just a little video on a 03 to 07 5.9 common rail fan clutch and kind of the symptoms I had and what to look out for with your trucks. It's pretty similar across the board on all brands and all years, but yeah, just be mindful that it could be a little different. If you guys like this video, find it helpful, subscribe, comment, leave a like, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.